time for the best coverage of the top stories in sports. The Sports Wrap with Jason Page starts now.
Oh, yes, it does. And great to have you with us on this Wednesday edition of the show. We got a whole lot to do over the next 60 minutes. A little bit of baseball. It's been very good to me. Some college football. One of the biggest opening games in the history of college football. Might be the biggest game in the history of the opening of college football season. We'll get to that. Odds and ends with tennis and a whole bunch more. But we start things out in the NFL. And Sam Yarnell is here, ladies and gentlemen. Looking dapper as always. Sam, throughout the last, 8 shows, we did a segment, an exercise on this show, which examined all the NFL divisions. And we asked the question, if not the favorite to win the division, then who would be the team we would choose to win the division? And I thought we would extend that for at least one more day here on the show because I have had so much fun with it. And for those who missed it and didn't get to see that, on Friday, you'll be able to see all of them in a special edition of Sports Wrap on Friday. We will have all of our division, if not then whose. So whoever's favored to win the division and who we think might upset that or who could upset that. So I decided today we'd do something fun, Sam Yarnell, and ask the question, if not then who, NFL MVP edition, Sam Yarnell. The favorite to win the AP's NFL regular season MVP is Lamar Jackson. He is plus 430. After that, it is Josh Allen at 6-1, Joe Burrow at 6-1, Patrick Mahomes just below that at plus 650, Jaden Daniels at 10-1, and then Justin Herbert at 20-1. Those are your top 6 over on FanDuel, the unofficial sports book of Sports Wrap. Unofficial. Why? They don't pay us. So, Sam Yarnell, I asked the question today to you. If not Lamar Jackson for MVP, then who? Who?
Yeah, Jason, and this is obviously an award that I think that I understand pretty well, considering that I've given out the winner of this MVP or this award the past 2 seasons on this show before the season started. And quite frankly, when you look at the MVP, you got to do this. You got to look at the narrative. It's a narrative-based award, and who can maintain the narrative throughout the entirety of the season. Last year, you saw, based on what people were saying going into the year, based on what they were saying about the Bills, if they had any success, it was going to come exclusively from Josh Allen. That was the narrative going into the season. What happened? Josh Allen won the MVP. What's the narrative going into this season? It seems that you can't turn your head without seeing somebody talking about how Joe Burrow seemingly deserved the MVP.
If you go where I think you're about to go.
Because of the stats that happened last year, right? And because of the voting that we saw last year, I think it's as far in the rearview mirror as it is that it's comfortable to say Josh Allen wasn't, necessarily deserving of the MVP from a statistical perspective last year. It had to do with what he did with relation to what he had, right? The statistical MVP last year was Joe Burrow. The reason they gave it to Josh Allen last year was because there was an entire year before that where Josh Allen had the argument over Lamar Jackson to win the MVP, and the voters botched it up and picked Lamar again. So the voters are still clearly trying to dig themselves out of this hole, and because of that, they're giving it to Joe Burrow this year if he has any semblance of a successful season.
Wow. You went Joe Burrow. I'm you know what? Hats off to you, Sam Yarnell. Sometimes I wonder if you're going to go with your heart versus your head, and you impressed me on this one. I did not think you would say Joe Burrow. And it disappoints me that you did, because I was going to say Joe Burrow. I think Joe Burrow is I don't even think it's if not Lamar Jackson, then who? It's if not Joe Burrow, then who for me this year. That team with so much to prove. And look, statistically, I think he's going to blow numbers that are just out of the water. I think he's going to do some ridiculous things from a numerical perspective. One, he's going to have to, because even with Trey Hendrickson, I think a lot of us question what that defense is going to look like over the course of 17 games. I expect Josh Allen will still have a phenomenal year. I still think Lamar Jackson will have a great year. But I also think some of this, as much as we talk about narratives, it's also predicated on the idea that you believe the Bengals are going to be better, that they're going to get off to a faster start. And remember, we ran through their schedule briefly last week when we did this exercise, or earlier this week. I don't remember. The days all blend together. We ran through this, and they've got a tough schedule. But if they can get through the first 6 weeks at 3-3 or 4-2, and I mean that because if you go look at their schedule, it's a murderer's row over the first 6 weeks of the season. If they can get through that and get through that gauntlet, so to speak, and find themselves just in the playoffs, I kind of think they need to win a division for him to be the MVP. If him and Lamar have similar seasons, not that they have similar numbers because Lamar does different things, obviously running the football and being a dual threat. I think it could be Lamar Jackson's award still. I believe Burrow's going to put up monster numbers this year, though. I think it's him first and foremost. I love the number at 6-1. I would go and put money on it at 6-1. But let me also throw this in with the final minute and a half we have here. Do not sleep on Jaden Daniels. At 10-1, I love that number. I mean, I don't know how you're not putting a sprinkle, as Sam likes to say, on Jaden Daniels, given what he did last year. Unless you believe that you have a similar situation to a certain quarterback in Houston who regressed in his second year in the league. Unless you believe that sort of regression is coming for Jaden Daniels, I don't know how you don't put money on Jaden Daniels at 10-1, Sam, for MVP.
Well, because Jaden Daniels is quite literally Joe Burrow on a less talented team.
No, he's a dual threat. He can run the football. Burrow doesn't run.
Sure, but again, what we're talking about here is team acumen, right? And I hate to say this, I really do, but if week 16 we're looking at which team is objectively better and I had to put money on it, I'd bet my bottom dollar that the Cincinnati Bengals are going to be a better team than the Washington Commanders. Now, the AFC may be a more competitive conference and the AFC North a more competitive
Wait a minute. Did you just guarantee the Bengals will be better by the end of the year than the Redskins record-wise? I would not make that guarantee.
I didn't say record-wise, talent-wise.
Oh, talent-wise. I thought you were saying
talent-wise.
Okay. I thought you were saying record.
And again, I'm going to take the guy with more talent around him. I'll take Joe Burrow 6 ways to Sunday.
But if Daniels puts up comparable numbers with less talent, then you're making the argument for Jaden Daniels. That's all I'm saying. We got more NFL to do. We'll do it next. Coming up in 10 minutes, we got your baseball right here. Don't forget, David Ardsma joins us on Thursdays to talk all things Major League Baseball. Sam Yarnell, let's continue with the NFL conversation, shall we? I could have done so much more on that MVP conversation we were just having. I really could have. Because I think it's going to be fascinating to watch how that whole thing plays out this year, and we will here on the show. All right, let's get to some quarterback notes around the NFL, a couple of wide receiver ones as well, Sam. The Browns made the decision that I don't think shocked any of us, and that is the decision to go with Dylan Gabriel as the number 2 quarterback after they traded away Kenny Pickett. I don't think anybody should have been shocked that it would be Gabriel that was the number 2. It is interesting, though, that they are going to carry 3 quarterbacks on game day, and that third quarterback will be Shedeur Sanders, according to all accounts. Sam, based on what we've seen in the preseason, we can all agree this was the correct decision. I just wonder how long the leash is on Flacco this season before we see Dylan Gabriel. That's what I'm curious to see is just how much time they give Joe Flacco here over the first month, 2 months of the season. Because as we've said, and I think you and I are totally in agreement on this. I was saying it a long time ago. You said it even earlier this week. Just rip off the Band-Aid. Let's find out. Let's have a true quarterback competition between Sanders and Gabriel and just find out who the better of the two is, because you're not winning anything this year in that division, which is going to be brutal. What did you make of their decision to go with Sanders suiting up on game day as the number 3?
Yeah, not really anything. Everyone's got to have a third quarterback, an emergency quarterback. It's okay. I assumed this would happen.
But is he the emergency? But is he the emergency?
Bigger, more important stuff.
But is he the emergency quarterback?
Yes.
Or can he?
He's the emergency quarterback.
So he cannot.
You have to have 2 quarterbacks get injured for him to come in.
Okay. That's what I wanted to be sure of, because
he can't come in just because somebody's playing bad. You have to suffer 2 injuries for him to come in.
So we're not seeing him. In other words, we're not. No. In other words, the only way we're seeing him is if we have a any given Sunday situation where both quarterbacks go down.
Yes,
and then you get Willie Beeman. Okay, fair enough. Spencer Rattler is going to be the starting quarterback over Shuck in New Orleans with the Saints. Keep in mind, Rattler didn't win a single game as the starting quarterback in New Orleans last year. They liked what he did in camp, though, so he's going to get an opportunity to be the starter. I don't know how long he'll be the starter, Sam, but he's going to get an opportunity.
This is an absolute colossal disaster mess. I can't even think of an adjective bad enough to describe what's going on in New Orleans. Listen, everybody knows, at least everybody in the NFL world knows that they absolutely blew it. They crapped the bed with the Tyler Shuck pick. They created all this steam around him leading into the draft. Nobody bought it, and they still drafted him anyway. And now you're going to start the guy who's been on the team for a year, who's a year younger than the guy you just wasted a second-round pick on. I'm not going to lie, Jason. I've talked to a couple of people, and people are just laughing from other organizations at the New Orleans Saints right now because of the way that this whole thing is played out. People know that Spencer Rattler cannot play quarterback in the NFL. Yeah, it was a great story when he was on the Netflix show until he blew that too. It was a great story for a while until he didn't work out at Oklahoma and then transferred and bounced all around. And then there was the South Carolina thing. Like, people understand at this point Spencer Rattler cannot play quarterback at this high of a level. And you wasted draft capital on Tyler Shuck only to not start him. It makes no sense. New Orleans quickly becoming a laughingstock.
Sam, the number on the Saints that seems to be most popular is 4.5 wins. Under 4.5 is plus 105. Over 4.5, the juice there at minus 130. If I made you pick one or the other, they going over or under?
It would be under, but I'm trying to find it here. Usually some of these sports books will offer worst team. I would bet the Saints to be the worst team. I know you'll probably have to lay juice, honestly. At this point, it's probably you won't have to lay juice, but it's a very short number, I would imagine, 2-1, 3-1 even. I would bet that. That seems to me like the most comfortable guarantee. That team is crashing and burning in front of our very eyes. They are currently this is something that I've talked about, I think on this show even, for years. They are currently in the cap hell that they built themselves into through the entire Derek Carr situation.
Yep. No, you're right. You've talked about that ad nauseum. Couple other notes related to receivers. The Vikings, what's the matter? You made a face.
They're just not. Maybe they saw me coming a mile away. They are not posting a worst record market this year.
Fair enough. Maybe they did see you coming. Couple of receiver notes in an attempt to kind of shore up their receiving core, I guess. The Vikings go and bring in Adam Thielen via trade. You know, you're getting 2025 Adam Thielen. You're not getting 2022 or 2021 Adam Thielen. Panthers get a 5th round pick in 26, a conditional 26 pick for the Vikings in the deal. No, I don't have a problem with it.
Panthers are up to something. Panthers are absolutely up to something. They know something that we all don't. That wide receiver room now. I think their oldest, actual pass catcher guy who's going to be running routes regularly is 25 years old now. They know something we don't. I'm concerned about the Vikings. This is a light starts going off for the Minnesota Vikings. Is this just because of the Jordan Addison suspension? Is there something else that we don't know about that they got to bring Adam Thielen in to figure out? I don't know.
Look, it sounds like Thielen's going to start opposite Justin Jefferson. So, I mean, take for that.
Yeah, right? Like, how much? And that's got to be a concern for J.J. McCarthy going into his first year now. Yeah. Every team in the league is going to triple cover Justin Jefferson and not worry about 40-year-old Adam Thielen. I'm being exorbitant for dramatic sake, but it doesn't spell out well for the Minnesota Vikings offense for me, Jason.
No, I would tend to agree with that. Last but not least, the Jaguars make a move at receiver. They trade for Tim Patrick, who was with the Lions.
Another head scratcher. I cannot get my head around why they would do this with Brian Thomas Jr., with Travis Hunter. Again, the Jaguars know something we don't about how bad they are.
6th round pick in 26 in exchange for Patrick. We're coming back with more Sports Wrap. We're getting to baseball next. All right, coming up in 10 minutes, a special treat. We're going to have Monday a full conversation that we had with Nick Asayan, who is the founder of Light Helmets. He joined us last year, just before the start of NFL season, talking about helmet safety. It's great if you are the parent of somebody playing youth football, somebody in high school playing football at any level, really. Anything involving helmets. It's a great conversation with the founder and CEO of Light Helmets, Nick Asayan, who's going to be with us on Monday's show. A part of that conversation we're going to give to you a little preview of what we talked about coming up in about 10 minutes here on the show. But first, Sam Yarnell, let's talk some baseball and some news and notes from around the league. And let's start with Giancarlo Stanton, who just continues to turn back the clock. This is not like some little spurt of offense from Giancarlo Stanton. This is a full-on carrying of the Yankees offensively over the last month for Big G, who will be in the Hall of Fame. And if you listen to this show, you'd know that because I've been telling you over and over again, this guy is a future Hall of Famer. He could have had 2 home runs last night. It would have been a home run in 20 major league ballparks, the shot he hit to left center, which was a double. He did hit a home run later on in the game, an absolute bomb over 450 feet into the left field bleachers as the Yankees beat the Nationals again, 5-1. But who had on their scorecard the Yankees making the playoffs because of Giancarlo Stanton this year?
I don't know if I have that on my scorecard yet.
Stop it! They've got the weakest schedule in baseball, Sam. They're making the playoffs.
So again, it draws back to the concerns that, like, you are relying down the stretch of the season when you have a 4.5 game lead on missing the playoffs at this point, right? With a month and a half of the season to go, and you're relying on a guy who's 40 years old?
No, he's not 40. What are you talking about? He's not even close to 40. Hey, Google, how old is Giancarlo Stanton?
35 years old.
He's 35!
35 years old.
You just aged him by 5 years. What are you, ChatGPT?
With that guy's injury history, he might as well be 48. He might as well be 55, Jason. The guy is
absolutely
not. Can't run. And you
don't have to run when you hit the ball 450 feet.
So again,
did David Ortiz run? No.
David Ortiz didn't spend half of every season on the injured list.
And like Giancarlo Stanton, he was basically a lifetime DH.
Sure, but the thing is, he stayed healthy while doing it. Giancarlo Stanton can't.
He's healthy now.
And again, that is the concern with the Yankees. It's just and this is the thing they've been doing seemingly all season. And I guess we'll just have to, by some accounts, wait until the playoffs for it to bite them. They're playing unsustainable baseball.
I don't think they're built.
They've played unsustainable baseball in about 6 different ways this season. And if they can ride it to the last wild card spot, that'll be fine. But they're going to finish 3rd in this division.
It won't be the last. It won't be the last wild card spot. It won't. And again, the schedule is going to dictate that. I think at worst they're going to be the first wild card, and I still think they have a shot to win the division. You can't rule them out, considering they still have another series to go with the Blue Jays that I think we said is at Yankee Stadium, if I'm not mistaken. One other note on the Stanton thing, and sort of him carrying the team. Eventually, Aaron Judge is going to hit again. It's not as if we've seen the last of Aaron Judge hitting the baseball this year. I just want to make sure we point that out. As he is your still what you sent me a note yesterday. What MVP? Him and Raleigh now. They're both they're now both minus 110 as far as that goes. Wilson Contreras, yes. You want
I'll
to
just
throw
say
one more
this,
thing
a note on Aaron Judge, right? Like, this is not a guy who is unsusceptible at all to going months while being a horrible baseball player, which is what we're currently seeing him do, considering over the last month that average is now down to 194. And I mean, again, once you get beyond the regular season slump, we know this guy's history in the playoffs. He disappears when the calendar turns to October.
And that's what I was going to say earlier, by the way. And now I'm glad you just reminded me of it. The Yankees are not built to win in the postseason. I am the first one to sit here and tell you this, but they are built to win in the regular season because you're going to play your cupcakes, and they play a lot of cupcakes down the stretch. That's why they're going to be in the playoffs at the very least. Wilson Contreras gets a 6-game ban, Sam. About right? For the bat throwing?
No. I mean...
Should he have gotten more? Less?
No, yes,
he
less.
Threw a bat, Sam!
No, it's ridiculous. He obviously didn't intend to. I don't even think he intended to throw the bat. I think it kind of slipped out of his hand because of the way he was being held back. But yeah, no, again, and I'll die on this hill. It is ridiculous, the protections and the lengths to which Major League Baseball and the Major League Baseball Umpires Association go to protect.
Oh, that didn't slip out of his hands. We just watched
Major League Baseball umpires compared to the lengths that they let the Major League Baseball Players Association go to protect the players. It's ridiculous. It's unfair. Actually, and this would be an interesting case study for, I guess, next baseball season. But I think the balance of power in baseball between player and official is more so that is more unbalanced than any other sport.
By the way, Laz Diaz needs to be put out to pasture. I mean, my God, some of the calls he made behind home plate in that Yankee game last night is just an outright embarrassment. Like, we need to retire Laz Diaz. We got rid of one with Angel Hernandez, thank you.
10 years.
Yes, we need to retire Laz Diaz.
So in 7.5 years,
stop.
good luck.
Don't even say
Laz Diaz will be gone.
Please don't say that. The A's are going to play 6 as somebody who hosts the show, and we are based here in Las Vegas, me being the royal we here. The A's are going to play 6 games in Las Vegas this year, I say. Thank heavens. It's a great decision by Major League Baseball. It's a great decision by everybody involved to get them into the market and play some games and generate some excitement, because we know the Sacramento thing is not going that well. What do they play, 6 games here next year? Maybe they play 12 games here in 2027, Sam. I love it. Let's get the A's here faster.
If I were a player on that team, if I were looking, well, they're not going to be able to sign as many marquee free agents if that's even something they're in the business of doing, which they never have been.
No, you're building for 28. You're building for 28 if you're
sure, but if I'm Nick Kurtz, if I'm Jacob Wilson, if I'm signed to that team for next season, I am so upset about this.
Why?
You're telling me that I got to give up 6 home games. Home games in Major League Baseball are absolutely coveted. In a 162-game season where routine is the most valuable thing, you're now taking 6 home games away from me. I would be livid if I were one of the players. But it's great for the Las Vegas community that's shown you multiple times that they don't want the Athletics there.
Oh, come on. We don't know if they want them or not. We'll know in 28 when they
Let's
get
ask
here.
the teachers union.
All right, coming up in 10 minutes, some college football talk, Texas and Ohio State style. But we've got something cool coming up. Monday, we're going to be off for Labor Day, but we'll have a conversation with Nick Asayan for most of that show. He is the founder and CEO of Light Helmets. They're one of the few manufacturers that's allowed to have NFL players wearing their helmets. And Nick Asayan joined us. We had a conversation with him last week, Sam and myself. And I asked the founder and CEO of Light Helmets about Aaron Rodgers, because we know all the controversy around him and trying to find a helmet to wear this year. What do you got for me, Nick? What do you think of when you see this Aaron Rodgers story? Because I started talking about it, when he can't find something that works for him. I mean, do you guys reach out to him? Like, how does that process go?
So here's the insider scoop on it. So
Okay.
Dave Dunn, who's one of the founders of Athletes First, probably the biggest NFL sports agency, is Roger's agent. He's actually loosely involved with Light in terms of we have a relationship with him. We've done some work with Athletes First. We've done work with GSC, Vanguard, Vayner Sports. I mean, you go through the list, right? So we have an indirect or a dotted line path to him. And the challenge is a lot of these equipment guys are not necessarily, open. So we've got an equipment guy at the Steelers. And now let me tie one more thing into that. Art Smith, the offensive coordinator, his dad is Fred Smith, who's an investor in the company. Now, is there a conflict of interest potentially there? I don't know if you can say that. Art's not invested in the company. But what I'll say is this. We've got an equipment person that's there that says our sales reps aren't as good as the competitive reps. Our sales reps have never been in to the Steelers. So I don't know how you can say that if we've not been in there. This is the number one new quarterback helmet, and it weighs half as much. And if they do the excess of going through the injury reports last year, you can see which helmets have a proclivity for injury. So the point is that we've got tethers to him. We don't want to push too hard. And we know, Aaron's going to make his own decision. He's certainly a smart and analytical guy. So if I have my, preference, which would be 15 minutes of time with him, which I'm hopeful to get at some point here, I think that he'll make a Light decision because I think that, he looks at things and says, hey, it's got to perform in the lab. I understand that. But how does it perform on field? And what's the science behind it? And also, what are the wins or losses for other people that are involved in this? And why haven't I heard about this in my own locker room? So I'm not trying to pick on the Steelers because there's other teams that are in that space. And that happens with any product. But the reality is that these are big money players, and they have a material impact on how successful the team will be over the course of a year. Let them make a decision. These are smart players. Their agents are smart. Their personal doctors are smart. And that's really one of those things that's frustrating. I bet you I've gotten 500 emails, calls, and texts. Bro, you got to do something about this Rodgers thing. I mean, it keeps me awake at night. So
I feel you. Go ahead, Sam.
Nick, one of the most interesting parts to me about Light helmets is your partnership with K3D, an awardee of the NFL's Helmet Challenge. I'm curious, can you kind of tell us what technology goes into that, what that partnership is all about, and how it kind of helps make your product unique?
Yeah, absolutely. They're a fantastic partner of ours. And probably 3-4 years ago, they approached us and said, hey, none of the other helmet companies will help us. Can we get the dimensions of your shell so we can enter this NFL Head Health Tech Challenge, which was a technology challenge with a series of grants? And we, of course, cooperated. We know what it's like to be a new company. Fast forward 3 years later, they win 2 grants for $1 million. The internals on this helmet, we saw the test results in the lab. We're like, man, if we apply some of our technology in conjunction with this and how we get helmets on the field, we think we have a winner. Now, let's look at how this has come out. They're in all of our NFL helmets, which we already talked about how well they score. They're in the number 1 Virginia Tech rated helmet, our Apache. They're in the number 1 youth helmet, which is the Apache Lightning. And, we've got some new products that are on the way out too that you'll see that they've been involved with. So these type of partnerships, and this is why I go back to the NFL, people will look at sometimes nefariously and say, oh my God, they're doing this, they're doing that. They want the best players on the field. How they get there, we may question that. We may question, why aren't there 2 different tests? Why aren't there USC, Lockheed Martin, or Gentex and BioCore all competing, and then compare the real world data to those tests to see where the tighter tie is, right? But the reality is the NFL catalyzed this entire technology that came from Clyde. We wouldn't have it if it weren't for the NFL. Now, the Clyde guys in Canada, we give them a hard time about being Canadian all the time. Now, do they deserve that? They deserve a little bit of knifing. They tease us, especially when the U.S. loses in that NHL game, that was 6 months ago. I didn't even want to come to the office to talk to those bastards that day. But the reality is you have 2 separate companies, 2 separate cultures, 1 goal. and you got to tie these companies together. So the execution of this has been I wouldn't say it a challenge, but a process to get where we want it to be. But to look together and say the NFL's, plug some nickels into the jukebox. These helmets are on heads all across the country. In Europe, in Japan, down in Mexico. In fact, Ryan Khalil, former NFL player, owns the Oso Monterrey down in Mexico. They were in the championship game and they lost, but it's Christian McCaffrey, Sam Darnold, George Kittle. Well, who did they come to for helmets? They came to us, right? And this light technology and Clyde technology not only landed there, but it got into Texas Southern. And Jason, your Giants helmet, Michael Strahan, he was the one that went out and bought 70 or 80 of our helmets.
Wow.
And put them on his college team. And those are the places where we really feel that, hey, we have validation, and now it's a matter of turning the volume up.
We're back with college football, Ohio State and Texas preview next. We roll along. 10 minutes from now, it's odds and ends. All right, Sam Yarnell, a little college football talk on the show. Lest we forget, we have a fantastic opening weekend, official opening weekend of the college football season with 3 top 10 matchups. But we're going to focus on one mainly here for the sake of this conversation, Sam, and that is Texas and Ohio State. Who needs the win more, Sam Yarnell? If you listen to Arch Manning or Steve Sarkisian, it's Ohio State that needs the win more. Now, I think that's a lot of crazy rhetoric to try and push some of the pressure off of the number 1 ranked team in college football. But we've got ourselves a fantastic matchup this weekend, Sam. What do you make of it? Who needs the win more?
Ohio State has to win this game. They have no choice. I'll get to that in a second. Real quick, little Wednesday edition of the Prince's Picks.
Oh boy.
Give me Texas 6 ways to Sunday. Give me Texas to go marching back to the state fair. I love it.
Wow.
So here's the thing, and I think this last 6-day stretch has really has really grown my dislike for the Ohio State football community and their fan base.
Oh boy.
Not to say that I like Michigan, because they're just about
turning
as
off the
insufferable.
TV in Columbus right now.
Yeah,
There we go.
and you know what's? I almost led this whole thing with, if you're watching this program in Columbus, Ohio, just turn that TV right off right now.
Thank you. Rock
here's
Sports
the
and
thing.
Entertainment. Thank you.
Here's the thing. Ohio State has done nothing over the course of the last 9 months. 8 months. Hasn't been that long. But embarrassed their program on a national stage. Not only do they lose once again to Michigan last year, they follow that up with whatever happened on the field after that, and then they involve the government to pass some legislation about flag planting because of a game that you lost in a season where you went on to win the national championship, but you're worried about flag planting to the point we're passing legislation about it in the state house or whatever Ohio does. I was born in a Commonwealth state. I don't know how those normal states work. Then that was only the beginning. Then they follow that up, right? We've got this massive week 1 game, right? We're talking about team favored to win the national title. We're talking about guy favored to win the Heisman. We're talking about, until his grandpa came out on a hot mic a couple of weeks ago, guy who was favored to go number 1 overall in the NFL draft next April, right? They're coming into our house. We got this massive week 1 game. Fox Big Noon Kickoff's going to be there. We're going to be the center of attention of the college football universe. So what are we going to do? Ban Dave Portnoy, one of the hosts of the Fox pregame show. And not only are we going to do it within our own athletic department, we're going to make this a legal matter too. And so now we've got state senators getting involved in this ban of a TV host. We are the defending national champions, but we're going to ban this guy from entering the stadium because he's a Michigan fan? I mean, if Ohio State doesn't need anything more than to win this game as to not give humanity, the internet, me, more ammunition against that program, I might wake up tomorrow and the sky is going to be purple.
Wow. How do I follow that? That's like a banger at WrestleMania, and then you got to be the next match after it, and just hope you can live up to the expectations of everybody. I just want to shut it down. How much time is left in the segment? Because I can't follow that. All right, here's how I can follow it. I disagree with you, and namely for stuff that's happening on the field, as much as you're talking about the stuff happening off the field. But it was very entertaining. It was, but I gotta say. Arch Manning in Texas need this more. They absolutely do. Because the entire narrative around Arch Manning is going to center around what happens in this game. Everything from here, if they go out and win that game, and again, Sarkisian doesn't want him to try and do too much. So if they go out there and win, and he's, 13 of 22, throws for $180, runs for another 75, and they just figure out a way to get through this game and win and start their season on a winning note, the narrative for him will be fine. But if he goes out there, throws a couple of picks, fumbles a football, and Ohio State wins by, 17, everything around Arch Manning changes from week one. And he's got to fight uphill for the rest of the season, along with Texas having to fight uphill the rest of the season just to prove their point and make their case that they were deserving of number one to start the season, Sam. So to me, you're Ohio State. And look, all the stuff you said is very rational and logical, as funny as it was. And I get where it's coming from. They just won a national championship. And you know what? They might come out a little flat. There might be a little bit of a hangover effect coming into that game. And again, you're talking about a receiving core that's been revamped. You lost, Sawyer. I mean, this is a completely different team in a lot of ways. Different quarterback than the one that left the field in the national championship game. Sam, real quick.
You're exactly right. And I'll say to your point, right? We have this tendency to the point that Texas needs the win more, right? We have this tendency in college football to remember these games when we're talking about awards and draft picks. We remember these big marquee games, even if they are week one of the season, they're hard to forget. This is one of those games. You're exactly right. If it goes horribly for Texas, we won't forget about it.
And by the way, who needs the win more than anybody? It may not even be in this game. It might be Brian Kelly at LSU.
Yeah.
Don't lose week one again, Brian. They might not let you out of the building with a job. We're coming back. All right. Just about time to put the wraps on this baby for a Wednesday. Tomorrow on the show, David Aardsma, former big league reliever, closer, hangs out with us every Thursday on the show. Who knows? Maybe some other surprises. Just have to tune in and find out. SportsWrap with Jason Page, the podcast. If you have not subscribed yet, what are you waiting for? Make sure to do it. It's on all your favorite podcasting platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube Podcasts, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, Odyssey, Amazon. Anywhere you get a podcast, you can listen to this show. 45 minutes commercial-free, Monday through Friday. What are you waiting for? Listen to it in the car, planes, trains, automobiles, while you're on the treadmill, at the gym, while you're in bed, taking a shower, whatever. Check out the show. We've also got the Sports Wrap with Jason Page YouTube channel. Why is that cool? Because you can watch the show there Monday through Friday. Maybe our show gets preempted for some reason. There's a sporting event on one of the many RSNs that we're on. You might want to go and check out the Sports Wrap with Jason Page YouTube channel. We also have Sports Wrap shorts there. I was crazy yesterday. I was just posting shorts left and right. Some days are like that. Go and check out the Sports Wrap with Jason Page YouTube channel today for Sports Wrap shorts as well. Yes, Sam. Yes. Go ahead.
If we are preempted for a trying to be nice here. I'm not going to be nice here. Pittsburgh Pirates, Chicago White Sox, or Washington Nationals. I'm a Washington Nationals fan. I got a Washington Nationals tattoo on my body. Yeah. If we're preempted for any of those three teams, turn it off. Go over to Spotify, SportsWrap with Jason Page. You'll get better talk. It'll be a more fun experience. You can hang out with me, and you don't have to watch your team lose.
Go to the YouTube channel. I want them to subscribe. I like Spotify,
Okay,
but
do the YouTube,
do
not
the
the
YouTube
Spotify.
channel first. Yeah, let's do the YouTube channel first.
Do the YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube, press play on that day's episode, but while you're listening, go subscribe to the Spotify.
I like it. Fair enough.
And then unsubscribe and then resubscribe.
Sweet
Drive
death.
those numbers up, people.
All right, here we go. I don't even know what to say. It's time for some odds and ends. Sam Yarnell, odds and ends. Alyssa Thomas, just call her the Russell Westbrook of the WNBA. She got her 7th triple-double. That is a WNBA record for a single season. I don't know. What am I supposed to say? It's Alyssa Thomas, and it's the Phoenix Mercury, who are 22-14, by the way. Certainly a threat when we get to the postseason. By the way, Las Vegas Aces playing a lot better down the stretch. Watch out for the Aces in the playoff. I don't know any of the WNBA odds right now. I don't look at WNBA odds all that much. Let me see, championship. Where are the Aces right? Aces are the 3rd favorite to win the whole thing after being a dumpster fire all year. Is that possible?
So let me catch you up. And just for those of you who listen to the show regularly, when your boy wasn't super invested in the WNBA, about a month and a half ago, I said, Asia Wilson, 125-1 to win the MVP. I mean, it's Asia Wilson. Come on now. Yeah, she's plus 460 to win the MVP now. So hope you tailed on that one. Nafisa Collier has missed a stretch of 8 games or something there for a while. That's what's caused this number to get close. Because the last time we spoke about it, Jason, Fee was what, minus 1,600 to win the MVP? That number's gone, cut in half.
Aaron Judge
and
plunge.
Here comes Asia Wilson. Truly impressive stuff from Alyssa Thomas and what the Mercury in their own right have kind of done to try and make this playoff run with your teams like the Fever and the Storm kind of in that range, just trying to battle, maybe make a Cinderella run at the semifinals or the finals. But it has been absolutely hectic what is going on in the WNBA over the last 2 weeks.
Coco Gauff, a winner at the U.S. Open last night. For those who aren't following, she's in the middle of trying to revamp her serve because she is. I think they said she's had 320-something double faults leading into the U.S. Open. In 2025, she's had 300. Think about that number. That number's insane. It's not like she's playing every single event. Over 300 double faults this year. By far the most on the WTA tour. So she went and got a serving guru, somebody that helped Arina Sabalenka with her serving game, and we obviously how good she is now. She still had a bunch of double faults last night, but she wins in 3 sets. But I'm going to just say this. If you are picking her to win anything other than another match or 2, you're out of your mind. Because trying to fix a serve in the middle of a Grand Slam event does not equate to winning. She'll win she'll win a couple more matches on talent alone, but she's not going to be able to do anything deep in this tournament. Sorry.
This was the first match of the tournament that I actually watched in its entirety. And I got to give credit to Tomljanovic, the woman that Gauff was playing. She played out of her mind. Had Coco obviously won the second set in a tiebreak. Had Coco on the ropes in the third. I was impressed, Jason, but resiliency out of Coco Gauff.
She's also, Tomljanovic was the one who beat Serena Williams and retired her at the U.S. Open a couple of years ago. Last but not least, the wedding of the century. It's going to be Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce. Congratulations to the both of them. We had a SportsWrap short on it yesterday. My suggestion, Sam Yarnell, it should be televised. Like Luke and Laura on General Hospital. You're too young. Go and look it up. Older people will appreciate what I'm saying. Go and do yourself a favor. Let's put Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's wedding on television. They're one of the most public couples anyway. Let's put it on television, Sam.
It would be
Televise
great. It would do numbers.
Proceeds to charity.
I doubt they'll do it. First time in a long time that my girlfriend broke NFL news to me.
Harrison Butker as a groomsman. Sign me up. Can the earth just swallow that guy whole? We'll see you all tomorrow.